like playing more around my team
Mhm.
and stuff like that. Things that because I've been kind of stuck in gold and like platinum for like a long time now,
Mhm.
but I'm kind of just trying to figure out like someone else's preference on what I could do and what I
Mhm.
could work on.
Have you received coaching before, or is this your first time?
Um, I did before like recently, but it wasn't like a big in-depth thing. They just kind of did a quick run through and gave me quick two things to work on and then a video and then they said they gave me one compliment. They said that my target priority was not that bad.
Mhm. Was the high rank player or
I think they peaked GM.
Mhm.
I'm not too sure. I kind of just joined quite a few like Discord
Mhm. Mhm.
coaching servers and then put VODs and then
Mhm.
asked if there's anything. The
Cool.
same the same video I sent them is the one that I sent in this chat too.
Okay, cool.
But
Do you want to change the code? I imagine since you got feedback on that one, you probably have a newer game that you would like some help with, right? Or I don't really care. I'm just asking if you have a newer code or not.
um I could this one works. This one I feel like I performed pretty well because I did like decent, but then when I rewatched it over, I realized some things I did wrong.
Mm-hmm. So you want to
But
keep the code, right?
yeah,
Okay.
sure. But I know at the very end of the code, I think some person on their team started to troll or something because they're kind of just you'll see in the code they kind of just like sat and spawn
Mm-hmm.
later on in the fight. But
Okay. So Doomfist Diva. Um, what feedback did you get before? You said
um
they told you about two
bef-
things you should work on.
yeah, the first thing was to not like he said I tended to push like the first person I seen
Mm-hmm.
and so kind of just like wait, find like scout it out, go
Mm-hmm.
for a
Mm-hmm.
high ground. And then the other one he says is like use your abilities fluently, like don't just kind of like spam whatever ability.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And that's basically two things. He said he would give more, but though it's kind of hard to like get used to like doing it over time because it's kind of a habit I have to try not to break.
So do you want help with the feedback that you got, or do you want to like start fresh and just start?
If you could start fresh, just
Okay.
like your opinion on it.
Sure. 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 What is your understanding of Doomfist? What is Doomfist good at?
I feel like Doomfist is good at like creating space and diving, like putting pressure on the back line. So, like, say if you had a Tracer or a Sombra on your team with you, you can both like dive and target their support like backline, so their tank will have a lot of healing. That's kind of my like understanding.
Mm-hmm.
More like pressuring their backline, kind of ignoring the tank unless let's say the tank over pushes or he's low, which your team will call out normally, hopefully. But it's not sometimes. A lot of people don't have mics, but yeah,
I wouldn't rely
I
on
think.
communication anyway. My question was, so you said that you pressured the backline, right? But there are multiple tanks
Mhm,
that pressure the backline. Like a Bull or a Winston. They're usually not very good in the tank trade. They also pressure the backline, right? What is
mhm.
the difference between a Doomfist and a Winston? What makes you
I
special?
feel like um I feel like a Winston. That's a hard one. It's a hard one for me to answer.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm gonna ask you questions that you might not know the answer to immediately. I'm only asking these questions to make you think and like ask yourself stuff, right? Because many times the way you learn in this game is you ask yourself questions, you try to come up with an answer, you fail, and you learn from that mistake, right? So you need to get used to
Mhm.
asking yourself questions. Like,
Yeah.
and the reason why I ask this question is because you will learn how to play the hero correctly at a basic level if you understand what the hero is good at.
hmm Yeah, I've kind of really enjoyed like Doomfist a lot. I'm trying to like it's gonna sound weird, but I'm kind of trying to like one trick him
You
where
know,
it's
it's
kind of
I
like
think that's the best way to learn a hero.
mainly get good with him. Though I can play every tank, I feel most comfortable with Doom.
I think
But
that
my
if you don't,
problem with him is I'll either do really well and we'll win, or I'll do really bad and then get blamed for throwing.
why do you think that happens? Why do you think you're experiencing inconsistency? Do you think it's related to the enemy composition? Do you think it's related to your own performance?
Um, I feel like it's my own performance because normally, let's say, like, I'm the tank, so I'm like a big impact on the game. So if I like make more mistakes than their enemy tank, then their tank can capitalize on it,
Hmm.
which I feel like, so a lot of it relies on how good I do and how good I communicate with my team. But
Okay, we'll see. By the way, I will be recording this if you're fine with it, so you can watch it back,
yep,
and
it's
it
alright.
will be posted on our server.
Hmm.
Um,
And this is console too.
okay, good to know. Um, if we think about the difference between you and a ball or a Winston or a diva, is the main difference is your mobility and your cooldowns. A Winston has a 12-second bubble. A Wrecking War has a 13-second adaptive shield cooldown. You have a like 5-second block, 4-second punch, and a 6-second slam, right? So your
Hmm.
cooldowns are way faster to come back, which means that every hero, not every hero, but most heroes in this game have a cycle around their cooldowns. So, like for example, when a Reaper has a Wraith and a TP, they would usually TP in and Wraith out, or maybe if a Tracer has recall, she would use Blinks to go in and use her recall to get out, right? And heroes base their actions, their value, their threat around those cooldowns. Doomfist is no difference. Only the only difference is that your cooldowns are so short that a lot of the time you're gonna have very quick successive cycles, right?
Yeah.
And those cycles are not always going to be super impactful, but um, even if you're only distracting or taking a better position for your next engage, you gotta use like you need to play around which cooldowns you have. You need to always have a like a plan around how you will engage and how you will disengage because you don't have any armor, right? You're a pretty
Hmm.
squishy tank. So if you end up misusing your cycle and like being stuck in the enemy team without a way out, you will most likely die instantly. And that's where
Yeah.
like most Doomfists sort of fail. They end up feeding, especially if you're playing against a comp that has a lot of CC, right? Doomfist doesn't really have a way
Mm.
to play around CC other than dodging it. If you don't play smart around how you position, how you use your cooldowns, you're gonna get stuck in the enemy backline and you're gonna die instantly.
Yeah, I think in this game they did have a CC because I know most of my deaths were from a Cassidy that would use his like stun,
Hmm.
and that's when like I tried to play against the Cassidy and beat him, but then I just couldn't, so I swapped to Diva, and then I think he got off Cassidy, so I swapped back to Doom at the very
Hmm.
end.
Hmm. And another important difference between Ball and Doom or Divine Doom is that Doom has more lethality. There's a bit more RNG to your kit because uh, empowered punch is hard to get, but you have a lot of burst potential. Like Diva also has burst potential, but you have some of the highest burst potential as tank in the game. Because if you get a big punch against a wall, it's basically a one shot, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of damage.
So you're a hero that has a lot of very quick cycles and lethality, but you lack like frontline presence and the way to deal with CC. That's basically you.
Mhm.
Um, the way you play against CC is not like it's not easy to it's not something it's not a textbook approach really. You need to understand that when people swap to counter you, they're mainly gonna focus you. So you need to change the way you play. You cannot do the same slam in, punch out, or look for aggressive cooldown cycles on the backline or whatever, because they're gonna be looking for you. They're gonna be looking to catch you, right? So you need to play with that in mind, and a lot of the times you have to do soft cycles. So like a hard cycle, let's say a hard cycle would be something like um, punching, slamming up here. So you
Mhm.
slam up here, and then you punch, and then it's a P. You punch, and then you block out, right? So we
Oh,
end
yeah.
up we start on this side. We do stuff here, and we end up on this side again. This side is uh, the reason why I give this example is because many times this is what the space split on a map on this map looks like. The enemy
Yeah.
team has this side of the map. They own this side of the map. If you go on this side of the map, you will get, like take a lot of damage from them. And your team has
Mhm.
this side of the map. So it's mirrored, right? If the Ramatra walks into this side of the map, he's gonna take a lot of damage. So many times, how you want to the way you want to base your cycles is you start in a safe position that can be with your team or maybe somewhere where the enemy cannot like reach you. So for example, here you could start your cycle here, slam in, punch out or something, right?
Yeah.
The general idea is that you want to start somewhere safe, pressure, and then end up somewhere safe again. Not necessarily in the same position, but you need to have very very important. You need to have this disengage plan, um, a disengage plan that will allow you to like get out safely. Uh,
Mhm.
what I was started explaining is that the yellow cycle is a hard cycle because you're like going in on the enemy, like melee range, shotgun range,
Yeah.
and you're using auto cooldowns basically. And this, if you do this against characters that have a lot of CC, you're gonna get shot down immediately because if you get close to them, it's easier for them to hit their cooldowns on you, right? It's easy for Nana to sleep you if you're right in front of Diana. It's easy for Cassidy to like nade you and so on. It's
Yeah.
easy for a Hawk to hook you and so on. So what you do many times is you soft cycle. You don't jump there directly onto them. You jump to a position that is close. So for example, you slam on this corner, and then you like jiggle pick the corner, and you M1, uh, and you like sort of bait yourself to try to get out cooldowns, to try to force to like dodge the hook, right? If there's a hog playing on this bridge, you're like jiggle picking this corner, trying to make him
Mhm.
miss his hook, right? You're trying to like distract the Cassidy so he like flashes you. Maybe you slam on this corner and you like punch. Corners are really really important when it comes to like everything in this game, but especially for you as Doom because you don't have armor again. You need to when playing against like CC and a lot of damage in general, you need to like maximize the use of corners to avoid taking a lot of damage before you can actually full commit, right? So you need to use corners to bait cooldowns, and after you bait cooldowns, because your cooldowns are generally shorter than their cooldowns, you're allowed to like hard commit after you bait them out. It's
Mhm.
a multiple step plan, and it's not always super easy to do. But the general idea is that you need to find a way to bait the attention, bait the cooldowns without taking a huge amount of damage. And after you succeed in baiting those cooldowns, you can hard commit. Does it make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. So kind of
Okay.
like play for your life, like trying your best not to die, but waste their cooldowns.
Um, yes. Uh, I guess yes. The only yeah, you need to have in mind, as I said, you need like people in this game are super fixated. Um, they're super tunnel visioned. Even in high ranks, they swap to counter you. So they're like perma gonna focus you, right? You need
Mhm.
to not forget that they will always look to kill you. Which means that you're no longer necessarily playing for the kill unless they feed you punch. You're more so playing for the attention. So that you're you're playing to distract this Cassidy and force him to like chase you in the backline. Um, rather than like killing stuff. And sometimes if there's no good option for like baiting stuff or the backline, if the backline is super far away, you actually don't have bad tank trade damage. Like if you can plant yourself on a corner like this where
Mhm.
the enemy backline cannot see you, so they cannot shoot you, you do decent damage to like a ram from like this distance, right? If you punch him,
Yeah.
if you like shoot him in the side and then you punch him and you slam on this corner, and then you keep doing this without taking damage from his team, a lot of tanks, especially in lower ranks, are gonna see the funny Doomfist guy and they're gonna like try to push you or something or to try to do damage to you. But if your
Yeah.
team is if you're like positioning smartly around your team, if your team is they're probably gonna be on this choke, right? So if you stay on a different corner and you force like tank damage and tank attention, they're gonna get shot by your team. You're not gonna get shot by their team, so their tank will have to back up, right? It's a
Yeah.
less dopamine inducing um, way of playing. But if the background is super far away, so like if you're here, in order to get to the high ground, you're gonna have to use two cooldowns, which is really, really bad.
Mhm.
Because if you use two cooldowns to get to here, well, the only thing that you can do is block and run in their backline, right, run towards their spawn, right? Um,
Yeah.
and that can work, but it's like a high risk, potentially medium to no reward. Because
Mhm.
if you use both cooldowns to get here, you have no cooldowns to run out. So if they like roll on you or chase you and like stun you, you're gonna die. You know?
Yeah. Like I feel like that's my issue. Like you're saying, kind of like to play the corners. Like if you don't have like a play you can make, and then kind of just like so the enemy team can't like what you're saying with the Ramacho, where you kind of position right where you are right now,
Mm-hmm.
and you kind of just wait there. That's like something that I have to kind of try and get in the habit. See, I'm like a really aggressive Doomfist player, so I'm like diving like a lot. Like I feel like you're supposed to go in the game like thinking. Some people say like think you're like the best player in the lobby,
Mm-hmm. Yes,
but I
I
feel
think you
like I'm
shouldn't.
too confident in
That's
myself
fine.
that
That's
I
fine.
overpush.
It's better than being too passive because if you make mistakes, you will learn from them. Like the first time
Mhm.
I played Doom, it's like I'm not a great at Doom, but the first time I touched Doom, I played them for like 100 hours straight. And I did eventually get GM, but it was like I had to learn a lot about my limits as a like tank into playing into these like super high damage backlines. And you're not going to do that if you don't feed. Feeding is part of learning, you know. So I think that being confident and trying stuff out is really really important to learning. But if you want to like, you should know that there is another option, and the reason why this works, like the more general principle behind it, is that you have short pressure. You're a short range hero. You if the backline is too far away for you to do damage to, you ignore the backline because you cannot do anything to them. So but the important um, detail to understand is that someone on the enemy team has to keep space. Someone has to contest space. Because if they don't, you will just step on point and start capping the point, right? Somebody has to like stay on point or stay on a hard choke and try to like pressure you so you don't take the whole map. Because if you take the whole map, they're gonna get shot from multiple angles and they're gonna die.
Yeah.
um, Many times the person that contests space is a tank or a DPS on an angle. If it's a DPS on the angle, you have Doomfist has flexibility, right? You have the mobility to go and duel that DPS, try to push them out of the angle. If it's the tank, you still do decent short range damage, right? So if you manage to find a corner to avoid damage and do damage to the enemy tank, there's the good chance that you will win that trade and you will force the enemy tank back. So there's like, my
Mm.
point is that there's always an option. You need to find the best option for your range.
Yep. And even you would start like if you're even if you're doing a little bit of damage to the tank, just like on the Ramatra, you're still getting alt charge from that.
Well, my point is that you're not doing a little damage to Ram here. You're doing good damage to Ram here because if you shoot him inside and you punch him, he's gonna take like
Yeah.
200 damage if your team is also here. And that means
Hmm.
he's gonna use form. If he uses form, he's basically useless for the next like 8 seconds. He
Oh
cannot push your
yeah.
team, so you just wait out his form and then you go in again.
Yeah, now that you explain that, that is smart. He would definitely waste form trying to get out, and then he would have no form because it would be on
Yeah,
cooldown.
and he's useless in that scenario if he doesn't have any form. If that doesn't have
Hmm.
form, right? Um, I don't know if there's anything else that I so like the main takeaways are you need to uh, like find your close range angle. It can be on tank or can be on backline, preferably on a corner. Um, and I don't know if there's something else like about the basics of Doom that I should say. Do you have any questions before we like watch the gameplay?
This kind of like off the topic that we were saying, but do you think looking at the other team, it's a good comp to play Doom into, or like bad,
Uh,
like with the Kiri
I don't think it's these people don't do anything
Reaper?
to you.
Mhm.
a lot of the time, what counters you more is not the enemy DPS, is the enemy backline. Like if they run on a Zen with a cast, you're gonna cry or a Nana break.
Mhm.
I think the Ram is like fine. I think you actually have you're a good matchup into Ram because you do good damage to Ram, and he doesn't have a way to like outplay your CC,
Mhm.
so you can like punch him around and play with him. But yeah, the DPS are like a bit rough to
Yeah, my
kill.
biggest struggle was the Cassidy.
I don't think it's a bad comp to play into because the cast doesn't have range. So if he sits here, he doesn't really do damage to you. And
Yeah.
with the Reaper, it's the same. Playing against a Reaper is like the same as playing against a Ram. It's like you need to find your corner, and you just need to do more damage to him or expose yourself less to his team than he's exposed to your team. Um,
Mhm.
Reaper is like hard, but uh, it's about playing your corners better mostly. The matchup is about playing your corners better.
Yeah. And I gotta take advantage because since this is like a lower rank,
Hmm.
a lot of people don't like have as much game sense as like a really high rank, so I can kind of capitalize off that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see. Any other questions?
No, that should be all.
Okay. So key takeaways: find your close range angle, abuse corners to take less damage than the enemy tank, and be flexible with your like target priority because you have the mobility to like move from one option to another. Like if you're pressuring backline and you see that they're like backing up and they're super far away, don't be scared to go back and like deal with the front line. That's actually like a smart play. If you manage to like pressure the backline backwards, that essentially isolates their tank. So you can go back
Mhm.
and 5v1 their tank because your team doesn't always have like Ram is rough if like imagine this rough Ram is just staying on the corner and punching and blocking. Your team might not have the enough damage to like get him out of the corner. But if you come back from like his backline and you punch him in the back or you shoot him in the back, suddenly he's like getting shot from multiple angles, probably has used form and it's gonna be or is using form right now. Because he's pressured from multiple angles and he's isolated from his team, there's a very good chance that you're gonna kill him.
Mhm.
And your team has more like confidence to walk up because you're actually here fighting the Ramatra in the back.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. Um, let's get going.
Yeah. I think at the beginning of the game, the Ramatra kind of feeds. I think.
Like for example, what cycle do you see here, or what? Maybe thinking about it in terms of a cycle is not necessarily the best options because sometimes you don't even get out. Sometimes you get a corner and you pressure you. So again, most important things: short range angle and corner. Do you see a corner or a short range angle with a corner that you can use to pressure the enemy team right now?
Um. I. Hmm. I could possibly go for the Ram since he's by himself. Like jump on the Ram, punch into under the bridge like that room.
So like go
Yeah,
where?
like punch the Ram
Hmm.
and then go to that room
Here.
right there. Yeah,
Okay. Does this do
'cause he's
anything?
by himself.
What does that achieve?
Um, I would hopefully try and kill the Ram, but I don't think that'd
It's not gonna happen if
be
he has
possible.
form and Curie heals.
Yeah, true.
It's an option. Do you see
Um,
any other option?
at first, my very first thought before you said like if there's any corner would
Hmm.
be kind of jump on the bridge like
Yeah.
with my slam and then
Yeah.
punch out quickly.
Sure, but you could also not even punch out. You could just slam here. You know that you can angle your slam so you like lock onto the edge and there's no airtime, right?
Oh.
Like some dooms will like just slam up and they will fall down like an egg. That's not very good because it gives the enemy team time to react to what you're doing and it gives them more time to shoot you in the air. So if you do
Hmm.
this, the Cassidy has time to flash you, right? But if you
Yeah.
angle your slam correctly, I mean, I can go into the practice range and show you, but I should I? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think I know where it's kind of like I think I do that on like the ground where like instead of like flying forward, I'll kind of just like stay put and just slam
Mm-hmm.
forward.
If you angle your slam correctly, you will lock onto the edge, and you will instantly like do damage to this guy. So you
Yeah.
could look. Your comp is also like pretty decent. I mean, Ilar is awful, but you have an echo, so you have somebody to dive with. Uh, when you look right, your echo is here. She's ready to go. Right, you walk up, and then you slam here. Maybe if you like to use comps, you can say I'm going on the bridge. You slam here, and then you can
Yeah.
punch, and then you can just sit on this corner. This is a corner. You can sit on this corner and block. And the Cassidy is probably
Mhm.
gonna throw everything at you, which will allow your echo to like fly up and do damage to the Cassidy.
Yeah, I think this game we were in a 5 stack, so we did have comms.
Mm-hmm. And if the Reaper shoots you, you just turn your attention to the Reaper. If you take a lot of damage, you drop. If you get your empowered punch, and the Echo is like helping you, you can punch again and try to kill the Cassidy. The reason why going on the Cassidy is better than going on the Ram, there are a few reasons. First of all, he's closer. You don't have to. You only have to use one cooldown to get to the cast and do meaningful damage to him. The second one is because he has less HP, so your damage is more meaningful. The third one is because he's more dangerous than the Ramatra. The Ramatra is not really doing anything. Ram is really bad on this map, on this point in specific, because there's a lot of high ground, and Ram doesn't have the mobility to like walk around and take high grounds, whereas you do. So you can like honestly completely ignore the Ram. The only thing the Ram can do is push your Illare, which
Hmm.
is not necessarily, it's not necessarily
Oh,
on you to deal with. Like if
um,
you're close and you see the Ramatra pushing your Ilar, you should help. You should punch him into your team.
mhm,
But um, the thing with target priority is that what should dictate your target priority is, first of all, the range. So like the closest thing that you can pressure, you should pressure. Second one is how their HP. So like if somebody has
mhm,
less HP, either because they're low or just because their HP pool is lower, you pressure them because they're more killable, right? What is more killable? I mean, it's not even just HP. It's how killable a target is. It's HP slash cooldowns. If
mhm.
something doesn't have cooldowns, it's better to like pressure that target. And the third one is like how lethal they are, how dangerous they are, lethality. These are like the three things in descending order of importance that dictate. I mean, maybe whatever. It's not a hard rule, but that's what you look for when you decide
Yeah.
who to go for, right?
Yeah, I think at the beginning of the game I do end up jumping on the
Yeah, but
bridge. Yeah.
this is what I was talking about. If the Cassidy is better, he like flashes you here, and you take look you take 100 200 damage almost before you even get a chance to do anything, right?
Yeah,
300
if I
damage.
would have did that slam thing you said, he
Mm-hmm,
wouldn't
mm-hmm.
have time to react.
Yeah. You should do it again, probably, because again, the RAM is too far. Oh, that's good. Nice. Nice. This is good. Here, it's better to engage with punch most of the
Mm,
time, because punch, for one, punch is a lower cooldown, comes back faster. Second, the slam damage is not super important, especially with the 250 squishy health pool. It's not super important. Like, that doesn't really help you secure kills. And slam allows you to disengage on high grounds. That's maybe the most important reason why you should most. I mean, it's not a hard rule, but that's why, if possible, it's better to engage with punch than with slam. You can
Yeah,
disengage to high ground,
slams.
and it's much harder for them to chase you on high ground.
Hmm. Yeah, slam's more of like a better movement ability.
Yep, yep. Nice shots. I mean, this is just kind of up at this point. Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, I kind of missed that.
Here, you're just gonna stop them in the choke. Nice.
Yeah, I don't know why I kind of waste block quite often.
You should use block. This is a feed, like whatever.
Yeah, I got hindered here.
No, I mean the ult. You should, for one, you should keep your ult to like escape. Oh, but the reason, so it doesn't matter if you die here, because look at where the cart is. Like,
Yeah.
this fight in itself is not super meaningful, but I understand that you're like that your team is chasing, so you're like helping, right? But if you die here, it doesn't matter. You're still gonna move the cart up to this corner anyway.
Yeah.
So I would rather you die and save your ult because you're gonna need your ult to win the next fight
Yeah.
instead of like egoing this push that it just doesn't matter because the card is not close enough for this fight to matter.
Yeah, when I look back at it, like there's quite a few things I kind of questioned why I didn't. And here it's like another thing, like I don't know why I ulted here.
Yeah,
I thought I just like ulted just because I was just like so in the mood of killing that I was just like, because the other people I was just kind of like trying to like combo or something
but the
like.
problem is that right now this is a 3v3, but this fight does not help us move the card. Your main objective is to move the card. If taking this fight helps you move the card, then I'm fine with you using ult here. Even though I think that since you have block and punch, block and block and punch, you could have probably greeded it a bit more. So like here,
Hmm.
you could play on the corner. You could just play on this corner, play on the corner. If the diva like pushes you, punch her away, and then block, and then you're gonna have slam again, and you slam to the stairs. You don't have to use your ult here.
Hmm.
You usually want to use ult as a way to full commit on their backline. If you have ult, it doesn't matter that you get flashed because you're gonna press Q and you're gonna live. It's way better to use as a disengage or second chance than as an initiator because Doom ult doesn't do a lot of damage and because it leaves you like vulnerable to CC when you land.
Hmm.
The other thing that I wanted to talk about, but I saw your funny ult was block. You should block when you have a lot of attention on you. So like after you punch somebody or you slam on a corner and you see a lot of people looking at you, you can tell they're gonna shoot you. So that's when you
Yeah.
block. If you like, you should never block in front of a Mercy. And you shouldn't even block in front of a Cassidy if he's not like paying attention to you or finding the hammer or whatever. I mean, maybe Cass is a bit harder because he does so much damage. But for example, in front of a diva, you shouldn't block in front of a diva unless she's like micro missiling you and like boostering into you.
Yeah.
This soul doesn't really achieve anything. See, like the card still, like I said, the card is gonna get to here regardless.
Hmm.
What should you do now?
Probably kind of just like hold that corner right there.
Remember what I said?
So.
Find your close range angle on a corner.
Mhm.
Where is a close
So
range angle on a corner?
I'd probably hold that corner that's like right next to me, so because
You
they're
could.
gonna come from through the bridge, and I can just kind of hold that, wait for cart to push up,
You could.
and then try and find another corner,
Okay,
like
but
up
let me tell you something else. Can you find a corner that allows you to hold more space?
under the bridge.
Could be. What about here?
Yeah, that'd be a good one
High
because
ground.
then I would have the high ground on them,
The reason
so
why
they'd
high
be
ground is
forced to
good is because it allows you to get close to people without using cooldowns. You just drop. You don't need to use like to get close to this Cassidy. You're gonna have to use the slam. To get close to this Cassidy from here, you just drop. And
Yeah,
like he cannot comfortably walk forward because he knows you're up there. And
yeah,
also they have Diva Ash. These characters want to take high ground, so you want to not let them take high ground basically, because you can just punch them off cooldown, off high ground, off
mhm,
cooldown. Like if
yeah,
you have the option, always take high ground before a fight. That's a complete waste. Yeah, so like you're not holding any space. Your soldier is trying to like do something to be active, and because you're not here on the high ground shooting the diva or like dropping and punching right now and slamming back to top, your soldier ends up dying. Now your soldier shouldn't have died anyway because she should be able to react to diva boostering on him, but it's partly on you because you're just AFK on card.
yeah. I think Echo went up there to try and
Help
save
him.
the soldier
Yep,
from the diva.
yep. And here, see the Cassie, you see the Mercy, you see the
Hmm.
Kirika, and you see the Ash. The Ash has just used Coach Gun. Who is the most killable target on the enemy team right now and the closest?
Um, Probably the Ash or the
Why?
Kiri, because Ash just used their
Yep.
cooldown.
But Kiri also has Swift Step, right? She has her TP. So she's not
Hmm.
very killable. She has both cooldowns. But this guy, he just used his mobility cooldown. This is
Yeah, I would say the Kiri would be more diveable if she didn't have, like, if I seen her use TP, but since she does have TP, the Ashe would be more.
The Ashe is also more dangerous. They're just as close, just as squishy, but the Ashe cannot run away, and she's easier to shoot, and she's
Hmm.
more deadly. So you have
Yeah,
your slam right now. You should instantly go on the Ashe instead of chasing
yeah,
the
and
cascade.
at this time she's by herself.
Yep. Um, and you're like choosing to go on a target that has more HP is less threatening to your team right now because of his angle and has more cooldowns to deal with you. He still has his role. You might kill him because he's stupid. Okay, you don't. Okay, what should you do? What should you do right now?
Um, Probably hold that corner for my team to respawn.
Do you see a better corner somewhere?
Um, I could probably go on top of that pink building, hold high
Mm-hmm.
ground.
You could even go up here.
Yeah.
You would have to use 2 cooldowns. You could even go up here if you wanted to.
Yeah, this map has a lot
A lot
of
of
high
verticality,
ground.
yeah, which is good for them. You should get off the floor here.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm talking about where I'm like too aggressive. Like my team's not even respawned and I'm trying to push them.
I guess your echo's coming back right now. It's not that big of a problem. That's nice. That's okay.
Yeah, I tried to go for that high
I know,
ground
I know.
there.
Don't worry. Okay, this is a bit too fast though. Like you're punching in without slam, and you don't have your ult. If you miss that punch, you're dead.
Hmm.
This is a good block because you just punched. They're looking at you, and you have a corner. You should play this corner instead of going backward. You should just play the corner there. Nice punch. Nice punch again. This is a free
Pretty
team.
sure
No
we
reason to go
called
up
it
here.
Ashe no bomb.
Ash no bomb. Yeah, Ash, nice.
Yeah, that's where I kind of like thought
And
to
this is
myself to kind
again
of cycle.
somewhere where you can like set up on a high ground. Here, for example.
Hmm.
This is better than this because I mean this is also fine. You could drop, punch, and then slam out towards your team, or you could just stay here and punch them in the back when they try to walk up. And you have team LOS here. Not that it matters. You have Yllare Mercy, so you're not gonna get any healing anyway. But they chase you, so they don't touch. This is just chasing. There's nothing to say here. Do you have any questions so far?
Um, Not really.
This is another scenario. You need to take high ground. You need to go here. Look at what your soldier is trying. Again, soldier is trying to take space. Is trying to play the game, but you're not helping him play the game.
Hmm.
You should be
So,
up here maybe, or even slam up here
hmm
and just live on this
so
corner.
far,
Hmm?
my biggest issue is positioning, you think, right?
It's not positioning. It's setup. Positioning is too general. It's
Hmm.
setting up on high ground. That's the most common. Like you're just lazy. You're sitting on card for no reason.
Hmm.
Most common thing I've seen so far. Even this, I mean,
Yeah, I seen bomb, so then I knew she was baby diva, so I tried to capitalize off that.
yeah, but if you miss this, you don't have ult, you don't have block, you're gonna die if you miss the
Hmm.
punch. Uh, I don't hate it. Like if you saw an opportunity to go for a play, I don't hate it. If the diva hadn't bombed, I would have liked you to go on high ground here, and then
Hmm.
either you could drop from behind and punch this way and then slam out, or you could like threaten to go on the Ash with the empowered punch and disengage this way.
Oh,
Ends up working out because you hit the punch. But that's just a mechanics gap. You should. Who should you go for? I mean, I think you do. No, you don't. Who should you go for?
uh, Probably the Ashe
Yeah,
if she's still up
she's
there.
alone. She's like super split from her team. Like
Mhm.
if you slam here and punch her in, she has no way to get out. And like the worst thing that happens is the diva chases you. But if the diva chases you, your team can free push the card. There's nobody stopping your team from pushing the card. In this scenario, you're just playing 2 stack onto your team. They have a cast, but they don't have that much damage. You're playing like you're playing like you're playing against like an Echo, Cassidy, I don't know, Diva, Ana, Zen, or something really really difficult to. You can abuse the high grounds and the corners up here a lot more, because if you're up here, you're just passive pressure. They have to think about you. If they don't think about you and if they don't look at you, then you just punch them in the back, force their attention, and then slam out. And you do the same thing over and over again, right? If they don't pay any attention to you. If you're on
Yeah.
card, it's like being on card is good if your team cannot push it. Can be good if your team is not, it cannot push it because the enemy tank is on card, right? But um,
Mhm.
the enemy tank is not really contesting anything, and it's very comfortable for, like, for this Ashe. It's very comfortable to just sit here and see everybody. She
Yeah,
doesn't
she's
have
kind of destroying my back line there.
she doesn't have a worry in the world. But if she has to worry about you dropping from this high ground or coming from the side, then she suddenly feels way less safe. And
Mhm.
it's also way better for you to approach from a different angle because people don't expect you and don't look at you. If they don't look at you, it's less likely they will hit their cooldowns on you to stop you from engaging. It's just overall,
Yeah.
this is true for any dive hero. Setting up on slight angles from your team is gonna yield better results for the dive many times.
Mhm.
So, like, for example, here, something funny that you could do is if you had slam, you could just slam backline on this corner. Shoot,
Yeah.
force the Kyrie away, and then either punch the diva or like look for something else, maybe the Mercy or whatever. Ash should be, I guess diva is low enough to justify going for her. When you see Beam here, you should get out. He's no longer killable. Like right now, you should slam out. I guess you see Beam too late. You're not gonna kill him. You're gonna die. Okay, we lost one again. Taking high ground is good. Nice. So like when you get missile here, instantly block.
Mhm.
Here, you hear the missile noise, you block. You get their punch instantly. Instead of like taking 200 damage.
Mhm.
Nice tech. It's okay. Okay. Do you want to skip to? Do you want to watch the? Do you want to watch this round, or do you want to skip to something, other moment in the game? I hope we're gonna have the time to watch the whole thing, but it's a pretty long game.
Um, you can probably. I know I play. I swap to Diva eventually. So whatever, like after Diva, Diva kind of. That's just kind of me just diving them as Diva.
So you want to swap
Once I swap it,
after Diva?
yeah.
Go to okay.
So I forget when I end up swapping to Diva. Yeah, that's what I like for kind of just sound
So,
point.
but you don't want to watch the Diva, do you?
Um.
I see ball and Doom again for like a minute. If you want
Mhm.
to focus on the Doom, then there's we can watch defense too. Cause
Sure.
okay,
I
okay.
know at one point during this, we're gonna see I kind of just like say, okay, I'm pretty sure my controller died, which is kind of just like an unfortunate
That's
event.
fine. Starting up here is okay. You could. I mean, you probably want to play this corner, and you want to punch the monkey in when he tries to dive. You can actually cancel his or move his jump damage if you punch him at the right time.
Hmm.
So like he's jumping and you punch him before he lands. He's not gonna land on top of your team. That is fine. It's like he's the closest. He's the most dangerous. You instantly force his rate. You should retake
Yeah.
high ground right now. We take high ground.
Our entire team dropped to help me with the Reaper.
I don't know what this guy's doing. Nice. We take high ground. Soldier, more important.
I'm
Because
not
you
really
don't
gonna
know.
be able to do much to Monkey.
Yeah, and 50 damage on this guy, it's gonna be enough to scare him away.
Yeah.
And he's the one that's gonna kill your soldier right now. Or your echo. If he's not gold, whatever. No
Yeah, I think this is
difficulties.
like gold 3 or gold 4, so it's pretty
It
low.
doesn't matter. Same principles apply. If you want to pursue, you should check if your team is ready to push up. Take high ground, take high ground.
Yeah.
Oy. I suppose fighting here is fine because your team is.
Yeah, in this game we all kind of like got comfortable, so we started to like really like be aggressive towards them and push them lots. Alright.
Don't chase the monkey. Nice, hold the corner. Why are you nodding?
I was thinking because someone told me if you look down and show your head, it like charges it more.
Right.
I don't know if that's true or not, but then I
If
was like,
you, I mean, it is something that is said in the Doomfist community that if you look down, that exposes your head hitbox more. But I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't think it's
like
super important. Problem? Do you want to ask something?
watch. Yeah,
Hmm?
yeah. I like to. It's not really like that relatable because obviously they're a lot more mechanically skilled than me, but I like to learn a lot of my stuff from like Zebra.
Yeah, no, that's very good. Um, Problem here is that you engage with half HP and you have no block. If you want
Hmm.
to go on this Reaper, you need to get healed first. And you're also one down. Like your Lucio is in spawn. You don't really have to do anything right now because your tank is dead. They're not gonna be. They cannot take the space without a tank.
Yeah.
So like going here, if this soldier was not Pepega, she could like headshot you with full rail, and you could die here, maybe, right?
Yeah.
But she misses rail. I know what you wanted to do there. You
Yeah.
should
This is
take
my
high ground.
controller.
Yeah, yeah. Again, you should take high ground. Like, especially against a Rhine, you don't want to really fight him in melee range because he's gonna do a ton of damage to you. You
Hmm.
gotta be up here, waiting for them to walk up, and when they walk up, you punch them. You drop and you punch them in the wall, into the wall, right? You don't allow the soldier to take high ground, and so on.
Do you think it was a good, smart choice to swap to Ryan for them?
No, I think Rhine is awful on this map, and they have Echo
Ah.
and the soldier. I think. What happens here? I don't think Rhine is good on this map in general.
I think my biggest threat when I'm playing Doomfist is playing against like an Orisa. Because she can just spear when I'm trying to punch and when I'm trying to
You
block.
just ignore the Orisa, pretty much. If the map allows you, just ignore the Orisa. It's the same as Ryan here. I think okay, this guy almost has charge. So like punching Ryan is not very good because if he charges you, you
Hmm.
knock each other down. But he has a lot of HP and a lot of armor, and you don't. So you're gonna lose that trade most often.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm more vulnerable there.
You can like bait it, you can charge it, and you can see if that baits him to charge to you, right? But you should not
Hmm.
punch the Rhine if you know. I mean, if he's low or whatever, sure, we punch the Rhine. But in a neutral like this, you should not necessarily go for the Rhine. Again, this is way more important. Good try. Sure. Okay, we finally go high ground. Okay.
And no, I thought he wasn't
Yeah,
there. He
yeah.
kind of duped me.
Uh, where
I'm
should we
very
go?
focused
Where should
on
we
the
go?
Reaper.
It's sort of understandable. He didn't have any cooldowns and he was low in your backline, but yeah. Okay, where should you go now? You're getting shot in the back.
Um, I would maybe say go for the soldier up there.
You could, but you don't really have. I mean, you could, I suppose. I suppose that's an option. I don't love it because you don't have that much HP. I mean, I think it's an option. You could also just
Or
slam here on this corner.
yeah. Hmm.
I think going for Sojourn is fine if you want to. Not right now because you're too low and you don't have a block. Yeah. You need to like get out of the damages way faster there. I don't know if that was English.
Yeah, I think I end up going a diva against the Orisa because the Orisa, like I when I play Doom, I really don't like playing against Orisa for some
So
reason.
if here, how do you play against Yorisa here?
Kind of. My main thing would be just like if their team was there, just kind of ignore the Orisa.
Yeah, you just punch to the Kiri here. Or you slam to the
Hmm.
Kiri. You don't
Unless
care.
the
Like
Orisa is low, don't
you're
really
gonna do
go
more
for it.
damage to the Orisa by shooting the Kiri.
Yeah.
This is not a worth investment. She's still full HP. Okay, who should you go for?
Life Weaver.
Life Fever. The alone up there. This is slamming in the open. Like, of course you're gonna struggle against a horse if you're doing this, because you're tank trading against a horse. She has
Hmm.
a billion HP and ways to cancel your block. So like, it,
Yeah, she
the only
always
time you
wins.
focus the Orisa is if you can punch her into your team or if she doesn't have any cooldowns.
Hmm.
You should go for the Weaver here, especially since you got your empowered punch. This doesn't do anything.
Yeah, I don't know why I keep going for this Life Weaver. I mean, not Life Weaver, Orisa. Looking back at it now, I'm seeing a lot of things I should not be doing.
That's okay. That's great. Okay, we skip the D.Va, yeah?
But then what happens is, like, I see so much things I shouldn't be doing, but then right when I go back in a game, I end up doing it again.
Well, how do you fix that?
Um, yeah, that's like the main thing. I'm trying to find out how to fix it, cause it's like I know what to do, but then I don't do it in the game. Like it's like all happening so fast that I kind of just forget to do it.
Do you have an alt account?
Yeah, I do have an alt account. I have
Okay, what if for like 3 games a day or 4 games a day or however long you feel like doing it, you go into your alt and you don't focus on winning. You focus on practicing. You
Mhm.
choose something very specific that you want to improve. So for example, picking close range corners, picking close range corners to play on, or setting up on high ground. This is an easy one. It's easy to do. This is easy to do because you can focus on it in between fights. Setting up on high ground before a fight, or planning your disengage route. Whatever, you can pick something. It has to be specific. It cannot be I'm gonna work on my positioning or I'm gonna work on my cooldown. That is not specific enough because there are a lot of things that make up good positioning, right? So you have to be
Yeah.
specific, and then you pick something. Let's say you pick the close range corner. What is the closest? What is the corner? What is the best corner that gives me a close range angle? Uh, okay, let me try to make it even more simple. Um, what is a close range corner? What is a corner where I can do significant damage from? Maybe that's the best way to put it. It doesn't even have to be like ability damage. It can be just M1 damage. What is the closest corner to the enemy team? Let's say, right? And you're
Yeah.
gonna go into a game and you don't care about winning. But I assume that you're a bit lower rank on your alt.
Um, it's weird. My main is a lower rank than my alt account. Like my main account for tank is, which is this one, is gold 3 or gold 4, and then my alt account for tank is plat 3.
My point why I asked about an alt account is because I want you to find a way to not care about the outcome of a game.
Hmm.
If you have a throwaway account that you don't care about, use it and go into ranked and use it to practice. Practice
Yeah.
the corner fighting. Find a corner. So like each fight, you're not gonna succeed in doing this every fight, but if you do it like 40% of the game, that's still great practice. Try to ask yourself as much as possible, where is my corner? Where is the closest corner to the enemy team? And keep asking that question. Keep trying to find them. And if you really like committed to improving, you can even spend like 15 minutes a week voting yourself and seeing how you do on that.
Hmm.
That's a way to overcome the autopiloting, or because it's hard to play the game and also improve. It's not realistic. You have to do one at a time,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
that's
that's what the other coach said. That's why he only gave me two, because he said it's hard to like do everything at once and try and improve at like so many different things. Like take do one thing at a time and
hmm hmm
improve it slowly.
this is a fine corner, sort of, but the only problem is that your team is super. It's a fine corner. This is a fine corner. You could also go. I have a break now. This is fine. Trading here a bit is fine. You could even go back here and then be a distraction and try to punch in on somebody that's not looking at you. But this position is also fine. Uh, Resolve the Echo, which is rough. Echo's rough for you.
Mhm.
Like at this point, their comp is kind of rough for you because uh you cannot do much to the Echo, you cannot do much to the Reaper, and you cannot really kill Brig or Weaver.
Yeah.
It's okay. Not going for the Brig there is good because she had Bash.
Yeah, I think my thought process at this time was kind of just stall and wait for my team and me to get ult.
Where's the Echo? Oh, okay. There is an argument that we got punch here. Hmm. This is unlucky timing, right? Your Lucio. Were you playing for beat here?
Not really. Oh wait, that was RV. I think so. It's kind of just like mainly waiting for like a DPS ult, something that could do like big damage. Like I
Like
was mostly waiting for Soldier to get his ult and possibly go high ground.
you're down two, so right now you should probably just run away instead of fighting because you're gonna stagger here. You're down two. Everybody use an ult. Every team use one ult. I mean, okay, now we're two down. You probably want to deal with this Reaper. You don't have to touch card right now. Okay, the Reaper is dead. Now, if you want to, you can go card. Punching Brug is risky because you can get the.
Forget how they lose here somehow. I can't remember if I think they walk
I
up.
would go for the Echo here or for the Brig. Wait. I would go for the Echo because. Okay, never mind. She probably has Fly. She doesn't, but I don't know if you can tell that. It's fine.
Gold lobbies are kind of weird. It's kind of just like so much things happening at once.
Hmm? What's weird?
Kind gold gold lobbies.
Uh,
It's kind of like a cluster where it's kind of just everything's just all happening everywhere.
I don't. I don't think it's just gold. Okay,
Like not as like organized and planned.
not even high ranks are organized. I hate to break it to you. Um, what have you seen? Uh, let's take some notes.
Uh,
What should you focus on?
Trying to take advantage of corners and like positioning,
That's too general.
like setups.
Yes, setup, especially before fight.
Hmm.
Setup mid fight is also important, but it's harder to do. This is easy to do because you just need to get in the habit of doing it after every fight and before every fight. And this is
Hmm.
not hard because you can think about it before the game starts or
Yeah.
before the fight starts, right? Okay, so there's setup. What else?
Um. Do you agree you should kind of like scout with Doom. Like
Should
before
what?
you engage a scout, like you kind of just like before you engage, kind of see like what's going on
Yeah,
before,
of
like
course.
instead of just like diving in, just
No,
start
I
attacking.
think I think you had decent
Look where
scouting.
everyone's
I think you had decent
position.
scouting. I haven't seen you like blindly go in
Hmm. Yeah,
for this
see
game
the
at
other
least.
person, I don't know why they kind of said in that one. I kind of just went for everyone I've seen right away.
Well, you have scouted. You just didn't like your problem is not the scouting. It's like the decision making that the target priority, the target that you pick based on that scouting. Because we've seen you again and again ignoring the high threat, low HP target.
Hmm.
Like you if you wanna talk about, I mean, scouting was fine. Your problem this game, and I didn't see any scouting problems honestly, but I mean, I don't know if the other person just wrote a message to you or if you watched the VOD together.
They kind of just I submitted. They just like quickly like said they skipped through it. I don't
Mm,
actually
see.
go into call.
Okay. Um, so how would you put into words what we've seen with the soldier that was on high ground, with the ash that was on high ground?
Um,
How would you put that problem into words?
go for higher priority targets like that are like alone.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um,
I'm trying to put like a word to it where like they're not with their team, they're kind of like
they're
away, like
isolated.
yeah,
They're alone.
isolated.
Um, just outright kill. I mean, maybe kill is a strong word. Uh, Pressure the isolated target. Isolated uh target. So like DPS on flank or high ground that are alone. That are that are alone or cannot run away. Even if that Ash had like a mercy pocket, it would have, or the Sojourn, it would have still been worth it to like contest them and do a bit of damage to them. Because if you don't, they're just gonna kill your team.
Yeah, because it takes if I pressure that person, even if I don't kill them, at
If
least
they're
it
still
takes
busy, right,
pressure off my back
and
line.
you're taking the attention of two people,
Yeah.
because the mercy has to pocket the Sojourn. Um, we've seen a few like micro Doom specific things with the slam angle, with the ult usage, and with the block usage, but I'm not necessarily going to write them down. I'm going to send you the recording. They're not like, if you want to focus on mechanics, those are like small things that you can improve. Important one is like finding uh, the close angle on corner. You use it to like be a distraction. You use it to take less damage while trading on your tank. You use it to wait for your cooldowns to come back without taking a lot of damage, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if I would add anything else. Would you add anything else?
Maybe like ability management, like learn to punch in, because I think I tend to slam first and then
Mm-hmm.
punch out,
Mm-hmm.
but I think it's more valuable to punch first and then slam out.
Mm-hmm. Experiment with what's going to help you a lot with this is setting up, because if you set up on high ground, it's going to be much easier to engage with punch.
Hmm.
Uh, Punching.
Because at the moment, I think I tend to slam in, try and punch them to the closest wall, then I
Mm-hmm.
will block and use my empowered punch to get out.
Yeah, that can work if you if you like line them up with the wall correctly. So like if this is the enemy team and you're slamming here and you're punching them into the wall, that can work. This is especially good if you have ult, because then you have a fresh set of cooldowns that you can use, right?
Yeah,
The problem with this is like how much do you expose yourself to the enemy team and how risky it is if you miss the punch.
yeah, true.
So like
It's a
going,
bit it works, but it's very risky.
it depends. If you have ult, it's good. If everybody's like grouped up here and maybe there's a corner here, then it's good. But yeah, if you miss it, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and you gotta be
especially
careful if they have CC.
especially if they have CC, especially if they have an Orisa that can like cancel your block and Ana and so on. If they're running an inoffensive comp, like if they're running Kiriko, Mercy, Ash, I don't know, Tracer or something, then you're fine doing this and running a Macho or something. You're fine doing this, right? But if they're running CC, you're gonna get punished if you miss.
Mhm.
Okay, do you have any other questions?
Um, not really.
Awesome.